afternoon. It's a little afternoon here on the Parks Highway. I just came out of Campwell, Alaska. Of course, I'm heading up to Prudhoe Bay as usual. I say that because, I don't know, wouldn't mind making a trip south. You know, down the Alcan or something. It's been a while. And I'll say this, I will be glad when it gets cold, which won't be long. It's the middle of August. I have had about enough of the tourists on the road. Although it hasn't been too awful bad today. Only run up on a couple of slow campers. Run up on some kamikaze drivers and want to do 80 or whatever on this road, and passing people on double yellow lines and passing people with oncoming traffic coming. I don't know. Some people are just morons, I guess. But anyway, I don't think I could make it another summer up here. Wintertime is great because there's not a lot of people on the road. And you pretty much have the road to yourself. But summertime, man, you deal with a lot of amateur drivers. But that's my cross to bear, I guess. Anyway, we got out of Anchorage at a good time, fairly early. So I'm not in a big hurry, although I may have some extra stuff to do at the end of the week. I don't know yet. And one of the camps I go to is moved, so I need to try to figure out where they're at. Up in Prudhoe right now, but Friday when I'm up there unloading, it's supposed to be in the mid-30s and snowing. So, story of my life. This section right here, we have the broken guardrail. They had an avalanche here right in late winter. Pretty big one too. It's funny, the winter wasn't bad last winter through here until, I don't know, almost spring. And then all of a sudden it dumped a crap ton of snow, and yeah, it got pretty bad. But anyway, I don't do a lot of videos on the Parks Highway. It's kind of boring. But there is beautiful scenery through here. There's no denying that. But for doing a video is kind of boring, you know. Although I do, like I say, I run into a few kamikaze drivers. And I'll rant and rave and use a bunch of swear words that I'm trying not to use as much anymore. And I don't know. A lot of guys put that on video, and that's fine. I mean, you should show the good, the bad, and the ugly of this business. I try not to do that. I have gone on a few rants on video. My good friend Ned Kelly over in Ireland, he goes on rants, and you know, God bless him. I feel his pain, man. I really, everything he says, I feel it. I've been there, you know. You get these people, especially families, and they get out here and they do a lot of absolutely dangerous things. They have their kids in the car, you know. It's like passing people with oncoming traffic and things like that. And you're like, what are you thinking, man? Is it worth it? But I guess to some people it is. I don't know. I wouldn't think so, but I don't know. Got a pretty full trailer. In fact, I'm a little heavier than normal. So it's going to be a long trip up Adigan Pass and the Shelf and Gobbler's Knob and all the rest of the hills there. I mean, it's slow, kind of a slow ride on the parks here. It'll be a slow ride on the Elliott. But that's all right. Like I said, I got out of Anchorage fairly early, so I remember the first time I went down was the first big mountain pass I ever went down. I guess it'd be Grapevine Hill in California. Excuse me. Back then, we didn't have engine brakes on the trucks. I mean, they had engine brakes. But a lot of the big companies did not spend the money to put engine brakes on their trucks. I mean, you had 3 gauges on the dash, 10-speed transmission, and about a 350 Cummins engine. And that was it. Cab over. No frills. Absolutely no frills. You were lucky to get an air conditioner and a radio that worked. So you had to learn how to go down a mountain pass using the transmission and your brakes. And I'm really kind of glad I did. At the time, it scared the crap out of me. I just knew I was going to end up at the bottom of the mountain. But I made it. But, you know, like I said, I'm kind of glad I did because it taught me how to do it. You know, it's a lost art today. Going down a mountain using just your transmission and your brakes. Everybody's got engine brakes now, you know. But it's still not a bad thing to learn because you never know when your engine brake goes out on you. I've seen it happen on Adigan there on the Hall Road. I had a driver in front of me one day, and we were going down Adigan, and he was on the brakes a lot. And I'm like, man, this dude's on his brakes a lot, you know. And then anyway, I found out later because he said something on the radio about his engine brake not working. And yeah, so it's a good thing he kind of knew what he was doing, you know. Could have been bad. Now this guy just pulled out. He's not going very fast. Maybe he'll speed up. We're on a hill now, so I'm kind of slowing down anyway. In fact, I got to drop a gear. But he's not getting away from me very quick, so he's not going very fast. You know, if you're going to pull out there, man, hit the gas. Maybe he's finally hit the accelerator. Maybe so. Anyway, but yeah, when I started driving 30 plus years ago, they did not invest a lot of money in truck. Well, let me back up. There were 2 types of trucking companies when I started driving. You could go to work for a no frills trucking company that barely had the equipment you needed to get down the road, just a basic truck. No, and an engine brake was considered a luxury. And you would make decent money for the time. When I started, I think I started making 19 cents a mile. And that was considered decent money back in the day. Or you could go to work for some company that had fancy trucks with chrome and lights and, 100 gauges on the dash and all this, and you made no money, right? So a lot of guys, if you were single, yeah, you could work for those big companies like that had the fancy trucks. But if you were someone like me, say that you had mouths to feed, you went with the no frills company. And that's just the way it was. These guys today that are starting out, you get some fairly fancy trucks out here now, man. And you got refrigerators and microwaves and big sleepers and all that. It's a different world, man. You could not get a guy out of truck driving school to drive a truck that we started out in back in the day, man. They just wouldn't do it. See, this guy slowed down again. Now we're getting closer to Denali, to all the touristy stuff up here. And we're going to be slowing down anyway. I just don't know why they feel the need to pull out in front of people. I mean, he didn't pull right out in front of me, but he saw me coming. I don't know. It's a little cooler today than yesterday, although yesterday was hot, really. You can get some 90-degree days up here in the summer. More so in Fairbanks than, say, down in Anchorage area. Fairbanks is the land of extremes, man. It can break 90 in the summer, and it can get down to 50 below in the winter. I prefer Fairbanks to Anchorage. It's a lot more laid back. I don't prefer the weather, per se, but I prefer the town. But it's obvious why Anchorage is so much bigger than Fairbanks. Fairbanks is just brutal, man, especially in the winter. Can't seem to keep it on the road. And he's slowing down again. Maybe he's gonna turn. Maybe he's just not paying attention. He's not turning. He didn't turn there. He didn't turn there. My guess is he's messing with his phone or something. They start going off the road like that and they start varying their speed. It's usually because they're messing with their phone. like this would irritate the crap out of me. And I'm not saying that it still doesn't, but I'm trying to tell myself I'm not in a hurry, I'm not being rushed today, and so I need to just let it go. Now they're going to speed back up. So whatever they were doing on their phone, they must be done with it for now. Oh, and we have a passing lane in a half a mile. Well, that always makes them speed up too. These people will absolutely crawl in front of you. But the second they know there's a passing lane coming up, they'll hit the gas. They do not want anyone passing them. Now slow down for these frost heaves, man. They're pretty bad through here. Slowed down a little bit. I don't know what I should do here. I'll give it a shot, see what he's going to do. Like I said, a lot of times they'll speed up on you. They don't like the fact that you're passing them. Yeah, I'm not going to play this game with this guy. I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. I'm going to stay behind him. I'm not going to sit there and spend all day trying to go around them. That's what they want you to do. It's like a game to them. You jump out to pass them, they speed up. You get back behind them, they slow down. I'm not playing the game with them. I don't have the time or the patience. Well, we're almost up here to the tourist trap. That's what I call it. You'll see what I'm talking about. how dirty his truck is. That one's turning off. Real careful through here between May and September. That's the only time this area is open. A lot of people walking around, walking across the road, walking along the side of the road, bicyclists. Backpackers. There's a camper about to do something. What are you about to do, camper? Don't pull out there. Stay right there. All this stuff around here is open for 4 months. That's it. But I'm sure they make a lot of money in 4 months. Nice area through here. Got to be careful though, because if there's a moose or a bear on the side of the road, a lot of times these tourists will just stop right in the middle of the road to take pictures of them. I have come around one of these corners pulling 2 trailers loaded and had to come dang near to a complete stop because somebody stopped in the middle of the road. most of the trucks up here we run are manual transmission. 13, 18 speeds. Not too many of us left that can drive a manual transmission truck. It's a dying breed, man. That's why us old guys are out here having to do these kind of jobs. You know, people just going up and down an interstate, there's nothing wrong with that. I may end up doing that next year. I don't know. But, you know, you can run an automatic and it's fine, but doing this kind of work or doing oil field work or something like that, you don't really hold up. So for all you guys coming out of truck driving school, you know, learn how to shift gears instead of just getting that automatic restriction on your license, because it can open more doors for you. I don't know, I just felt the need to say that. See those railroad tracks down there? I mean, that'd be a nice ride, nice train ride on the Alaska Railway. As usual, I'm going to try to make it to Coldfoot tonight. That's usually where I stop. Mile marker 175 on the Hall Road. Still got a ways to go. Still got about 115 miles to Fairbanks. Fairbanks is probably 6 hours to Coldfoot. Yeah. Anyway, I'll go ahead and end this video now. Nothing much going on. Like I said, it's the parks, man. There's nice scenery through there, but once you get past all that, you know, tourist stuff back there, and you get past Denali and all that, there's not really much going on. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. Hit hit the like and subscribe, man. I'd really, really appreciate that. I was looking at my analytics the other day, and I've like 70% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribers. And I know that's a thing with a lot of the YouTubers. You know, you hear a lot of them talking about most people watching your videos don't subscribe, and I get that. Look, I'll watch a video from someone and I don't subscribe because I may not watch another video of theirs. But if I see myself watching 2 or 3 or 4 of them, I'll go ahead and subscribe. You know, because I think, all right, I'm gonna subscribe to this guy's videos. You know, I'm interested in a lot of the stuff they do or whatever. But anyway, like I said, you know, I appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe would be great. And we'll see you on the next one.